Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a critical aspect of success and personal growth, learning to identify and never tolerate the wrong people in your life. The truth is, you are the average of the people you surround yourself with. If you're serious about maximizing your potential, you must be deliberate in choosing the company you keep. When you're on a journey to success, nothing can be more damaging than allowing a negative thinker into your inner circle. These are the people who, no matter how bright the future may seem, will always find a reason to focus on the dark clouds instead of the silver lining. They have a habit of pointing out every flaw, every possible pitfall, and every potential failure in your plans. Instead of offering encouragement or constructive advice, they dwell on what could go wrong. Now, it's important to understand that being realistic and being negative are not the same thing. A realist acknowledges challenges but also sees possibilities and solutions. A negative thinker, however, is stuck in a mindset where they view every challenge as an insurmountable obstacle. They are quick to shoot down your ideas, not because they are genuinely concerned for your well-being, but because they are trapped in their own limited perspective. Being around someone who constantly drags you down with pessimism can be exhausting. Their words and attitudes slowly begin to seep into your own thinking. Over time, you may find yourself doubting your abilities, hesitating to take risks, or even abandoning your dreams altogether. The negativity becomes a barrier, not just to your success, but to your personal growth. It's crucial to guard your mind against these influences. Negative thinkers project their own fears and insecurities onto others. They are not trying to help you, they are simply reflecting their own limitations. Understand this, their perception of the world does not have to become yours. You are in control of your outlook, your mindset, and your future. If you want to achieve great things, you need to surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and help you see beyond the obstacles. People who can acknowledge the difficulties while still pushing forward with hope and determination. So when you encounter a negative thinker in your life, you must recognize the potential harm they bring to your journey. Do not allow their doubts to become your reality. Instead, distance yourself from their pessimism and stay focused on the possibilities that lie ahead. There are few things more destructive to relationships and personal growth than someone who indulges in gossip. These individuals thrive on speaking about others behind their backs, spreading rumors and stirring up drama where none should exist. They are the ones who always seem to have the latest news about other people's lives, and they eagerly share it with you whether or not you ask for it. At first, it might seem harmless, a casual conversation or an innocent remark, but the truth is that gossip does far more damage than meets the eye. When someone engages in gossip, they are not only damaging the reputation of the person they are talking about, but they are also revealing something about themselves. A person who speaks negatively about others to you will almost certainly speak negatively about you to others. It's a pattern of behavior that lacks integrity and loyalty. What they spread may be exaggerated, distorted, or completely false, but that doesn't stop them from sharing it. The more they talk, the more trust is eroded, and the more division is sown among people. Gossip destroys unity. It creates an atmosphere of suspicion and mistrust because it places doubt in people's minds. Suddenly, you begin to wonder if what you're hearing is true or if others are talking about you in the same way. This cycle of suspicion only serves to weaken bonds and foster insecurity. In any community, whether it's a workplace, a friendship circle, or a family, gossip acts like a slow poison, eating away at the foundation of trust. Moreover, gossipers often disguise their conversations as concern or care. They might start their statements with phrases like, "I'm just worried about them," or "I think you should know," when in reality their intent is far from helpful. It's important to recognize that real concern leads to direct, constructive conversations. If someone truly cares about another person, they will speak to them directly, not behind their back. Allowing gossip to continue unchecked means you are complicit in the destruction it causes. If you find yourself in the presence of someone who gossips, you must ask yourself, do I want to be part of this? Because by listening, you are enabling their behavior. The better path is to distance yourself from such conversations, to rise above the temptation to engage in negativity, and to seek relationships built on honesty and respect. Ultimately, the cost of tolerating gossip is far too high. It damages relationships, fosters mistrust, and reflects poorly on your character. By choosing not to participate, you maintain your integrity and cultivate a circle of influence that is rooted in respect, loyalty, and truth. Let the gossipers have their rumors, but let your life be a testament to honesty and strength of character. There are certain people in life who, intentionally or not, serve as obstacles to your growth and success. One of the most damaging types is what we call the dream killer. These individuals always seem to have a reason why your goals and aspirations are impossible. When you share your vision or talk about your dreams, they're quick to remind you of the difficulties, the challenges, and the reasons why it can't be done. They never offer solutions, encouragement, or support, only doubt and discouragement. At first, their negativity might seem harmless, even reasonable. After all, pursuing a dream is never easy, and there will always be obstacles. But the difference with a dream killer is that their words are not meant to help you navigate those challenges. Instead, they are designed to make you question whether the dream is worth pursuing at all. They are the voices that plant seeds of doubt, telling you that you're not talented enough, not smart enough, or not strong enough to succeed. Over time, if you let these voices influence you, they can become louder than your own inner drive and determination. What you must understand is that dream killers often project their own fears and limitations onto you. They may have given up on their own dreams, or they may lack the courage to pursue anything outside of their comfort zone. As a result, they feel threatened by anyone who dares to aim higher, to strive for more. Instead of encouraging your boldness, they try to bring you down to their level. It's not always out of malice, but rather a reflection of their own insecurities and unresolved failures. The danger in tolerating dream killers is that they can subtly influence your mindset. Even the most confident and determined person can begin to question their goals if they are constantly surrounded by negativity and doubt. You might start second-guessing yourself, wondering if perhaps they are right. Maybe the dream is too big, too far-fetched. Maybe it's safer to settle for something smaller, something more attainable. But settling never leads to fulfillment, and giving up on your dreams only leads to regret. It's important to protect your vision and surround yourself with people who lift you up, not tear you down. People who challenge you in a constructive way, who remind you of your potential, and who inspire you to keep pushing forward even when the road gets tough. Your dreams are precious, and they require nurturing, encouragement, and persistence. Dream killers offer none of that. Instead, they drain your energy, sap your motivation, and keep you stuck in a place of fear and hesitation. Remember, your dreams are your responsibility. No one else will fight for them as hard as you will, and no one else can see the vision as clearly as you do. So when someone tries to tell you that your dream is impossible, recognize that they are speaking from their own limitations, not yours. Don't let their fears become your fears. Don't let their doubt overshadow your belief. Hold on to your vision, protect it fiercely, and keep moving forward. Surround yourself with those who believe in you, who celebrate your ambition, and who remind you that with perseverance, anything is possible. The dream killers will always be there, but their power over you depends entirely on whether you choose to listen. The manipulator is someone who, often under the guise of friendship or support, seeks to control others for their own benefit. These individuals are skilled at twisting situations to suit their needs, often making you feel as though their desires or interests align with your own, when in reality they are simply using you as a means to their end. Their intentions are rarely clear from the beginning, as manipulators are masters of disguise. They will appear charming, helpful, or even self-sacrificing, making it seem like they are there to help you, but over time, their true motives come to light. One of the primary tactics a manipulator uses is playing on your emotions. They know how to push the right buttons, making you feel guilty, indebted, or obligated to do things for them. They may play the victim, making you feel as if you're the only one who can help them, or that without your support, they would be lost. This is how they create a sense of dependency, pulling you into their world in a way that feels almost unavoidable. Over time, you may find yourself doing things for them that go against your better judgment, but because they have manipulated your feelings, it becomes hard to say no. Manipulators often disguise their control under the pretense of caring for your well-being. They might advise you on what to do, claiming it's for your own good, when in reality their advice serves their own interests. They create scenarios where you begin to question your own decisions, relying more and more on their guidance. You might think they're looking out for you, but slowly they start to dictate your choices, influencing your actions in ways that suit them more than you. What's insidious about this is that they make it seem like they're doing you a favor, when in truth they are gradually taking away your ability to think and act independently. A key characteristic of manipulators is their ability to shift blame. When things go wrong, it's never their fault. They have a way of turning situations around, making you feel like you're the one at fault or the one who caused the problem. This not only protects them from accountability, but also reinforces their control over you as you find yourself constantly apologizing. The lazy individual is someone who lacks the drive and motivation to put in the necessary effort to achieve their goals. They are often content with doing the bare minimum, avoiding hard work and responsibility whenever possible. Instead of being proactive and taking initiative, they wait for things to happen or expect others to carry the burden for them. While they might express lofty desires or ambitions, their actions rarely align with their words. The laziness isn't just about a lack of physical effort, it's about a mindset that resists growth, discipline, and personal development. One of the biggest challenges of being around a lazy individual is that they can drag you down with them. Their unwillingness to work hard or make sacrifices creates an environment of stagnation. If you're working toward a goal, whether personal or professional, a lazy person won't contribute positively. Instead of pushing you forward, they become dead weight, slowing down progress. They may rely on you to handle the hard tasks, always finding excuses to avoid putting in the work themselves. Over time, you may find yourself doing their share, taking on more than your fair load while they coast along without contributing meaningfully. Laziness can also manifest as constant procrastination. The lazy individual always has a reason why something can't be done today or why they'll get to it later. The problem with this attitude is that later never seems to come. Their procrastination creates delays, missed opportunities, and unnecessary stress for everyone involved. Instead of planning ahead or staying on top of things, they push tasks off until the last minute, hoping that someone else will step in or that circumstances will somehow change to their advantage. Another hallmark of the lazy individual is their tendency to make excuses. When confronted about their lack of effort, they rarely take responsibility for their behavior. Instead, they come up with countless reasons for why they haven't been able to act. Whether it's blaming external circumstances, other people, or bad luck, they always find a way to deflect accountability. This refusal to own up to their laziness not only hinders their own growth, but also frustrates those around them who are working hard and making sacrifices to move forward. Being lazy doesn't just affect their personal progress, it also impacts relationships. Over time, people begin to lose trust and respect for someone who consistently fails to deliver on promises or contribute equally. Their lack of effort sends a message that they are not invested in the shared goals or values of the group, be it in a team, a family, or a friendship. The imbalance created by laziness often leads to resentment, as others feel overburdened and taken advantage of. Ultimately, tolerating laziness can be detrimental not only to the lazy individual, but to everyone around them. It fosters an environment where excellence is undermined and mediocrity is accepted. If you allow a lazy person to remain in your circle without addressing their behavior, you risk lowering the standards for yourself and others. Success, growth, and achievement require consistent effort, discipline, and hard work, traits that lazy individuals lack. To keep moving forward, you must align yourself with those who share your commitment to striving for more, rather than those who are content with doing nothing and going nowhere. The excuse maker is someone who consistently finds reasons why they cannot achieve change or take responsibility for their actions. These individuals are masters at avoiding accountability, always ready with a justification for why things didn't go as planned. Rather than acknowledging their role in the outcome or accepting that they could have done better, they shift the blame to external factors, circumstances, other people, or sheer bad luck. Excuses become their safety net, allowing them to stay in their comfort zone without having to face the discomfort of failure or the challenge of growth. What makes excuse makers particularly draining to be around is their resistance to progress. Instead of focusing on solutions, they zero in on the problems. When faced with an opportunity or a challenge, they will often list all the reasons why it won't work or why it's too difficult. They create obstacles in their mind before they even take action, which paralyzes them from moving forward. This mentality not only prevents them from reaching their own potential, but it can also negatively influence those around them. In a team or group setting, their constant excuses can drain the motivation and momentum of others. Excuse makers often portray themselves as victims of their circumstances. Whether it's claiming they don't have enough time, resources, or support, they always find a way to make it seem like success is out of their control. But the truth is, success is often a matter of mindset and effort, not perfect conditions. By constantly making excuses, they avoid confronting their own fears, weaknesses, or lack of discipline. It's easier to blame external factors than to look inward and make the changes necessary for improvement. In many cases, excuse makers may not even realize the damage they are doing to themselves. Every excuse they make becomes a barrier to growth, reinforcing a mindset of limitation. Instead of learning from failure or accepting challenges as opportunities for growth, they remain stuck in a cycle of avoidance. This attitude leads to missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential. Over time, they become comfortable with mediocrity, convincing themselves that they are not at fault for their lack of progress. Excuse makers also have a negative impact on relationships. Whether in the workplace, within families, or among friends, people grow tired of hearing excuses. The envious person is driven by a deep-seated discontent with their own circumstances, often fueled by resentment toward others who seem to have what they lack. This envy manifests in a variety of ways, including bitterness, hostility, or a passive-aggressive demeanor. Rather than celebrating the success or happiness of others, they are consumed by a sense of unfairness, which only serves to diminish their own potential and relationships. Envy can be corrosive because it distorts how the envious person views others and their achievements. Instead of acknowledging the hard work or talent that may have contributed to someone else's success, they focus on perceived advantages or privileges that they believe others have. This skewed perspective prevents them from recognizing the effort and dedication involved in the achievements they envy. Instead, they might attribute success to luck or favoritism, reinforcing their own feelings of inadequacy and fostering a negative mindset. The envious person's discontent often leads to a lack of genuine support for those around them. When they see someone else achieve something significant, their first reaction is not to offer congratulations or encouragement, but to criticize or diminish the accomplishment. They may spread rumors, downplay achievements, or simply refuse to acknowledge the success of others. This behavior stems from a deep-seated insecurity and a feeling that others' success somehow detracts from their own potential or worth. Envy also affects personal growth and self-improvement. When someone is preoccupied with what others have, they are less likely to focus on their own development and goals. Instead of channeling their energy into improving their own situation, they become fixated on what they perceive as unfair advantages enjoyed by others. This fixation prevents them from taking constructive actions that could lead to their own success and satisfaction. It keeps them stuck in a cycle of comparison and self-pity rather than forward momentum. In relationships, the presence of envy can create tension and erode trust. Friends, family members, and colleagues can sense when someone is not genuinely happy for their achievements or when their support is sincere. This dynamic can lead to feelings of isolation and constrained connections. The envious person may find themselves increasingly alienated as their negative attitudes push others away. The constant comparison and negativity can overshadow the positive aspects of relationships, making it difficult to maintain healthy and supportive interactions. Ultimately, the envious person is trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction and resentment. Their focus on what others have instead of what they can achieve for themselves leads to a never-ending pursuit of validation and self-worth through comparison. To break free from this cycle, they must shift their focus from others' successes to their own potential. By setting personal goals, working diligently towards them, and celebrating their own achievements, they can cultivate a more positive and fulfilling outlook. Embracing their own journey and recognizing their unique value is key to overcoming envy and fostering a healthier, more supportive mindset. The unreliable friend is someone who consistently fails to follow through on their commitments, leaving others feeling disappointed and let down. They may promise to be there for you, whether it's for important events, daily support, or even just casual plans, but their promises often turn out to be empty. Their inability to be dependable creates a sense of instability and uncertainty, making it difficult to trust them when it matters most. One of the hallmarks of an unreliable friend is a pattern of excuses. When they don't show up or fulfill their promises, they often come up with reasons why they couldn't be there. These excuses may range from minor inconveniences to more significant issues, but they rarely address the core problem, their lack of commitment. Over time, these repeated excuses erode trust and make it clear that their promises are not to be taken seriously. The impact of an unreliable friend goes beyond mere disappointment. It affects the dynamics of the relationship, creating feelings of frustration and resentment. When you can't rely on someone to be there when they say they will, it forces you to constantly adjust your expectations and plans. This instability can lead to a sense of imbalance in the relationship, where one person feels like they are always carrying the weight of the friendship while the other is consistently absent. Reliability is a cornerstone of any strong and healthy relationship. It involves not only showing up, but also being present and engaged. An unreliable friend often falls short in these areas, failing to provide the emotional support or practical assistance they've promised. This lack of follow-through can be particularly hurtful during critical times, such as when you're dealing with a personal crisis or need someone to celebrate a significant achievement with. Their absence during these moments can make you question the depth and sincerity of the friendship. In addition to affecting personal relationships, unreliability can also impact professional and social interactions. If an unreliable person is part of a team or group, their lack of dependability can hinder progress and cause frustration among other members. Projects may be delayed, responsibilities may go unmet, and the overall effectiveness of the team can suffer. Their behavior creates a ripple effect, impacting not just those who rely on them, but also the broader context in which they operate. Dealing with an unreliable friend often requires a reevaluation of the relationship. It's important to communicate your feelings and concerns directly, as sometimes people are unaware of the impact of their actions. However, if the pattern of unreliability continues despite efforts to address it, you may need to reassess the value of the friendship. While it's natural to want to maintain connections with those you care about, it's also crucial to protect your own well-being and ensure that your relationships are mutually supportive and dependable. In summary, the unreliable friend can cause significant strain on relationships due to their failure to follow through on commitments and their tendency to make excuses. Their behavior undermines trust and stability, leading to feelings of frustration and disappointment. Addressing the issue directly and assessing the overall impact of the relationship can help you decide the best course of action, whether that means setting clearer boundaries or reconsidering the friendship altogether. The victim is someone who consistently sees themselves as being at the mercy of external forces, circumstances, or other people. They often perceive themselves as helpless, constantly subjected to misfortune or injustice, and struggle to take responsibility for their own actions or outcomes. This mindset shapes how they interact with the world and influences their relationships, often leading to a pattern of reliance on others for validation or support, while avoiding personal accountability. One of the key characteristics of the victim is a pervasiveness of powerlessness. They tend to focus on how they have been wronged by others or how circumstances are unfairly stacked against them. This mindset allows them to deflect blame and responsibility for their own role in their situations. Instead of actively seeking solutions or making changes, they dwell on the negative aspects of their experiences and reinforce their identity as someone who is always on the receiving end of life's difficulties. The victim's perspective often involves a significant amount of self-pity and a desire for sympathy. They may frequently share their grievances with others, seeking validation and attention for their struggles. This constant need for reassurance can strain relationships, as those around them may feel overwhelmed by the negativity or pressure to offer constant support and comfort. Over time, this dynamic can lead to frustration and distancing from friends, family, and colleagues who find themselves caught in the cycle of providing emotional support without seeing any change in the victim's attitude or behavior. A victim mentality can also lead to missed opportunities for personal growth and improvement. When someone consistently views themselves as a victim, they are less likely to take proactive steps to address their challenges. They may avoid making decisions or taking actions that could alter their circumstances, fearing that any attempt to change their situation will inevitably lead to failure or further victimization. This avoidance behavior reinforces their status as a victim and prevents them from taking control of their life and finding solutions to their problems. Furthermore, the victim often engages in a form of emotional manipulation to elicit sympathy or support from others. They may exaggerate their difficulties or present themselves as more helpless than they truly are. This manipulation can create a sense of obligation among those around them to offer assistance or to shield them from further distress. While this might temporarily fulfill their need for validation, it ultimately undermines their ability to build genuine, reciprocal relationships based on mutual respect and support. In relationships, being around someone with a victim mentality can be emotionally draining. Friends and family may feel obligated to constantly reassure the victim and address their concerns, leading to a sense of imbalance in the relationship. The victim's inability to take responsibility for their own life or contribute positively to the relationship can create feelings of resentment and frustration among those who care for them. Over time, this dynamic can erode trust and lead to a breakdown in communication and connection. Breaking free from a victim mentality requires a shift in perspective and a willingness to embrace personal responsibility. It involves acknowledging one's role in shaping their own experiences and recognizing the power they have to affect change. By focusing on what can be controlled and taking active steps towards improvement, individuals can move beyond the victim mindset and towards a more empowered and proactive approach to life. This shift not only enhances personal growth, but also fosters healthier, more balanced relationships. The criticizer is someone who consistently finds fault with others and their efforts, often focusing on flaws and shortcomings rather than recognizing achievements or positive aspects. This person has a tendency to point out what is wrong or could be improved, frequently expressing dissatisfaction or disappointment with the actions, choices, or behaviors of those around them. Their approach to feedback is often more negative than constructive, creating an environment that can be discouraging and demoralizing. One of the most defining characteristics of the criticizer is their inclination to highlight errors or deficiencies without offering balanced feedback. They may focus intensely on minor mistakes or imperfections, overlooking the overall quality of the work or the effort that went into it. This tendency can be especially damaging in both personal and professional settings, where recognition and encouragement are essential for growth and motivation. By consistently zeroing in on what's wrong, the criticizer creates a climate of negativity that can stifle creativity and diminish self-esteem. The impact of the criticizer's behavior extends beyond mere annoyance. It often affects the confidence and morale of those who are subjected to constant criticism. When individuals are frequently criticized, they may begin to second-guess their abilities and decisions. The continual focus on what they did wrong can overshadow their accomplishments and lead to a lack of enthusiasm for future endeavors. Over time, this can result in decreased productivity, lower motivation, and even resentment towards the criticizer. In relationships, the criticizer's constant fault-finding can lead to significant strain and conflict. Friends, family members, and colleagues may feel unappreciated or undervalued as their efforts are overshadowed by an ongoing stream of negative feedback. This dynamic can create a hostile environment where individuals feel they can never meet expectations or achieve satisfaction. The constant barrage of criticism can also erode trust and intimacy, as those on the receiving end may start to withdraw or become defensive. Criticizers often struggle with their own sense of inadequacy or dissatisfaction. Their tendency to point out the flaws in others can be a reflection of their own internal struggles or insecurities. By criticizing others, they may seek to deflect attention from their own perceived shortcomings or failures. This behavior can create a cycle where their criticism serves as a way to cope with their own feelings of inadequacy, while simultaneously damaging the confidence and well-being of those around them. To address the impact of a criticizer, it is important to foster a more balanced approach to feedback. Constructive criticism should be delivered with the intent to support and improve, rather than merely to condemn or judge. Offering feedback in a way that acknowledges strengths and accomplishments alongside areas for improvement can create a more positive and productive environment. Encouraging open communication and focusing on mutual respect can help mitigate the negative effects of constant criticism and foster healthier, more supportive relationships. In conclusion, recognizing and addressing the types of people who undermine our progress and well-being is crucial for maintaining healthy, productive, and fulfilling relationships. The negative thinker, the gossip, the dream killer, the manipulator, the lazy individual, the excuse maker, the envious person, the unreliable friend, the victim, and the criticizer each bring unique challenges into our lives, impacting our personal growth, professional success, and emotional health. These individuals may appear in various forms, but their common thread is their detrimental effect on our ability to thrive and achieve our goals. By identifying these behaviors and understanding their impacts, we empower ourselves to set boundaries, manage our relationships wisely, and prioritize our own well-being. It's essential to remember that tolerating such negative influences only serves to hinder our progress and satisfaction in life. As we move forward, let us strive to surround ourselves with individuals who uplift, support, and encourage us. Seek relationships where mutual respect and positive reinforcement are foundational. Embrace those who contribute constructively and who share a commitment to personal growth and success. In doing so, we create an environment where we can all flourish and realize our full potential. Ultimately, the choice is ours. We have the power to define the quality of our relationships and to decide who we allow into our lives. By choosing to engage with positive, supportive individuals and setting clear boundaries with those who detract from our journey, we pave the way for a more successful, fulfilling, and harmonious life. Let us be mindful of the company we keep and remember that our time and energy are precious. Invest them wisely to build a life enriched by meaningful connections and genuine growth.